Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Mac Outdoor Podcast with Mia and Leah. This week we'll be sharing all about SHOT Show. Stay tuned.
This summer, whether you're at the range or in the field, WSI Sports' Hypertech bamboo tanks, tees, and leggings will have you covered. Visit WSISports.com and use Leah's affiliate code, LLCO10, for 10% off your purchase. All products are proudly made in the USA. WSI is bringing back pride in American-made clothing. Again, that code is LLCO10 for 10% off your order at WSISports.com.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mac Outdoors Podcast, where a dynamic mother-daughter duo share their adventures, tips, and advice. I am Mia, and I'll be accompanied by the one and only daughter, Leah. It is time to get to outdoors, hunt, shoot, and spend time with family and friends. Let's get this show on the road.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in this week. We shared a little update last week about where we've been, but this week we're going to share about SHOT Show since that just happened. And I didn't get to attend this year, but my mom did, so we will be interviewing her about the latest, greatest things found in the industry this year.
Okay. Well, I have to tell you about the day one great find, which actually isn't even day one. It's pre-SHOT Show, which is industry day at the range. And there's always great guns. My favorite thing is to shoot full auto because as a civilian, you never get to do that. So I like to head over and shoot some full auto and get some appreciation for that. But my second favorite thing was we found a new rifle scope mount from Phone Scope. And the thing about it that was really, really cool is a phone scope attaches to the ocular end of your binoculars or your scope. But this one actually attaches to the side. So you can look through your scope and you can be sighting in or hunting or whatever you need to do. And you can attach your phone and record your shot. So you can see where the bullet hits on the target, or if you're out hunting, you would be able to see where the bullet hit on the animal, or if the animal ducked or moved, or if you flinched, or if you pulled the shot. So that was a really, really cool thing. It will be out early summer, they said, by the end of May, and I look forward to giving that one a try when it comes out.
That sounds really cool. Is it available for any size, any brand of scope?
Oh, that's a really good question. So it'll fit most scopes because it has like a ratcheting attachment that's adjustable. So pretty much any scope that you would put on your standard hunting rifle, it'll fit. If you're in the military and have some larger size, there may be issues with that, but it's kind of a universal mount, so it should fit all of them.
And it'll fit any kind of phone as well?
Well, you'll have to order the case to match your phone, and then the case will attach to the mount, and it comes as a unit, but you have to specify whether you have a iPhone or a Samsung or whatever, and then it'll just mount right on there. And another cool thing, a friend was telling me a story at SHOT Show about mounting their phone with the regular phone scope that attaches and covers the lens. So that is directly behind the scope since it's actually attached. And that thing, it accepts all the recoil and muzzle blast when you shoot, and it knocked their phone and broke the iPhone.
Oh.
So that's something with this side mounting thing, and you'll be able to look down your crosshairs, is it's not going to be affected, and you won't have to worry about ruining your $1,000 iPhone if it's attached to the scope.
Did they let you take it on and off to see how easy it was to put on?
Actually, yeah, we put them on and off, and they showed us inside there. The way it works, since it's mounted on the side, it has a single mirror in there. So it's looking through the mirror and transforming the image so that it's straight. And then you can see down your crosshairs. So yeah, and it was simple to attach.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. I'm looking forward to attaching it actually to the 22 when we're shooting prairie dogs, and I think that should be really fun. I'll send you some vid. You can subscribe to my YouTube, Mia Anstine, and I'll have some videos someday of prairie dogs. Maybe. I can't guarantee that, but
It'll probably get taken down if you put that on your YouTube these days.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So what else did you see at regular SHOT Show?
There was something really cool that I found, and I had to Snapchat it up and send it to Leah, and I was so excited because Leah, for our listeners, is a collector of knives. She loves knives. Am I right?
Yes, that is a fact.
So she can almost at any time be found carrying a knife, and her knife is usually in one of her pockets or concealed in other locations. But I guess this will give you a hint. I was at the WR Case booth, and they know Leah by name there. And they're going to be sending her a new knife soon. But while I was there, something that she had mentioned in the past was that she wanted a knife that had an assisted open. And guess what? They listened to Leah, and they made a knife with an assist open. So that was pretty cool.
That is very cool.
I was just so enamored by it that I actually didn't get the specs. I will have to get those, and I'll put them in the show notes for our listeners. But this knife with the assist, the representatives at Case, they actually got a little wide-eyed when I said that I put out on social media that it was Leah Leggett's knife. And they said maybe they'll have to partner with you in a knife in the future. So that was a big find that I really, it impressed me. I mean, knives obviously impress you, so I hope they impress our listeners as well. Another thing, as you know, and Leah loves SHOT Show, but it is a lot of meetings, right, Leah?
Yes.
Yes. So I actually held a meeting inside one of the cool things that I found at SHOT Show. Are you going to ask me?
Oh, no. Dude, I'm not sure I want to know, but let us hear where this meeting was held.
So another thing I'll tell you is that I'll be guiding ladies' turkey hunts for the Ladies Adventure Camp experience, and that will be with Lanny Barnes here in Colorado. We're going to be guiding some ladies on turkey hunts. So I was inside of the brand new Primos Surround View 270 double bull blind. And it is super cool. It's got to be the really coolest thing that I found at SHOT Show. And it's not a gun, but it's super awesome because when you're inside there, you can see out, and there's a 360, 270, and 180. And that's because the 360 has clear walls. When you're inside, you can see out all the way around 360 degrees. Something that I had wondered about, and if some friends had asked, is if the sun's shining, would you be silhouetted and the animals would see you? Because from outside, you can't see in. And the answer is yes. If the sun was on the wrong side, you could get silhouetted, but that's why they made the 270 and 180. The 270 has one blacked out wall, and the 180 has two blacked out walls, so you could place that blind at whatever angle to block the sun. So that was really cool. And then the 360 has a movable black panel where you can move that to whichever wall you need to.
So each one is a different blind? Like you would have to buy a 270 or a 180 or a 360 blind. They're not all the same?
You could have your choice whether you wanted it 360 degree view, or if you wanted one blacked out wall and just three clear walls. Or you could have two blacked out walls and two clear walls. So there's three models.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's really cool.
And how big are they windows, the 360? Like how our blind has the triangle windows? Are they square windows, or is it just like a huge hole on the side of this blind?
So like I'm not sure if you remember, we have several blinds, but we have a double bull blind, and the windows like slide up and down, and it opens for a big long opening, big rectangle. So the 360 has that same window. You just slide the screen up on the rods, and then you'll have a clear opening for your shooting lane. The 270 and the 180, they actually have shooting windows that are triangle and little small vertical portals. The good thing is, with having the see-through, when you're sitting there waiting for an animal, you'll be able to see it coming before it makes it to the shooting window. So, and another good thing is, as you know, you always hear these monster squirrels that sound like a big old buck. You'll be able to see what actually is out there rustling the leaves before it gets to you.
Fancy.
Yeah, so that is really, really cool. Those will also be out in May of 2018, but they're already in such high demand that you probably won't be able to find one till later in the year unless you're one of the first ones to order one at a retailer.
Interesting.
Those are 3 of my favorites from SHOT Show, and you can check it out on my website and social media if you'd like to see some other items, some cool guns and whatnot. Or if Leah will allow it, I could talk to you about a couple shotguns that I found too.
I suppose, was that your favorite this year, was shotguns?
I found some really cool shotguns that are made for women, and yeah, we could probably share those in another episode.
Well, those all sounded like super cool things this year at SHOT Show. I hope I can get my hands on one of the new knives, and I hope the hunters out there get to try the new Primos blind. Maybe I will if I get to hunt this year. But like she said, we'll share more of the guns in our next episode. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Talk to you later, guys. Bye.
we have to share one more story of hunting in the blind, the one that snuck up on us.
Oh, my goodness.
That one is a good one.
Let's take a couple more of your minutes, guys, because this story is, this could have made or broken? What's the word? This could have made or break Leah's career in the outdoors. But
yes.
I had this hole that I was sitting, and there were so many bears that were coming in and out of this water hole. It was a really hot year. And one day, Leah didn't have school, and so she came with us to the blind. And we actually got a late start. We had errands to run. We didn't get there till like after 10 o'clock in the morning. And we had this pop-up blind. We get up there. We're popping up the blind, not being quiet whatsoever. I mean, we figured it was late. We're just going to get in here, get set up, and get ready. We pop up the blind. Leah climbs in and gets settled. She actually had her iPod and earphones on. And she's laying on the ground because it was a hot day, and she was laying on the cool ground
by the door,
by the side of the blind. And I set a chair in and got in there, and Hank handed me my rifle, and I was like, oh my gosh, a huge bear. I mean, one of the biggest bears I've ever seen in our area comes to the water hole straight ahead, but it was covered by the oak brush. It had to come all the way out to the water. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we just sat down, made all this racket. Hank wasn't even in the blind yet. He was still behind the blind. And this huge bear is there. And I was just like, wow, we're not even going to be settled. And I'm going to get this huge bear. And that's one of the things, a hunting tip is never follow up that far ahead of where you are in your shots. He never came out. He stepped backwards, came around the side of the blind. In front of us, he was, 25, 30 yards? He came around to the side of the blind, the side on which Leah was laying on the ground. And he came toward the oak brush, almost came out again. I maybe could have shot him through the brush, but that wouldn't have been a very clean, ethical shot. So I'm waiting for him to come out. Next thing, I can't see him. And we didn't even have the side windows open yet. This is how quick this happened. Next thing I hear, Hank is like, he's right there. And he's whispering. And I had a handgun, and he grabbed my handgun because literally if the bear would have come through the blind, it would have been on top of Leah. So we're like, he's right there. And we're just waiting to see this blind wiggle. I mean, obviously you don't want to shoot a bear unless it's self-defense. I mean, it was hunting season, but you can't see his vitals through the blind. So this was crazy scenario. And all the while, Leah's down there on her iPod playing a game or reading, or I don't know what she was doing, but Hank and I are whispering back and forth, and finally the bear took off. It just left, just like that. And we never saw that big old bear again. But as I said, that could have ruined Leah's hunting forever, honestly, if that bear had touched the blind. I don't even want to know what would have happened in the whole scenario. Yeah. I mean, it ended up like as a really cool experience. I wouldn't say I was ever scared. I just really didn't want Leah to have a bad experience. And we did have guns to protect her and stuff like that. But still, that would have been a little unnerving to have the bear even touch the blind. So there's another experience. Bears are wild animals. They're not teddy bears. I know a lot of people think of them as the cuddly bears we put on our beds, but they're not. They're wild animals, and they can tear you apart. They have claws, just like the video we talked about in one of our, what episode was that, 21? If you go back and listen to 21, we talked about bear attacks, and you can learn a little more there. In our area, there's actually more and more hunting licenses every year because the bears are becoming overpopulated, and that's why these reports like the Colorado Springs garage and the bear breaking in the house, there's more and more reports because there's a lot of bears, and we've moved into their habitat. It's a part of conservation. We have to manage them and also give them habitat where they can live safely.
I know, I love bear hunting. It's not just as easy as it sounds, like sit a watering hole and a bear comes in. Like, you also have so many awesome memories as we've shared some with you, and I'm sure both of us have written a couple stories about them on our websites.
Oh my gosh, yes. Actually, you just saying that made me think of Canada and the bear cubs and the tree beside me. Did we talk about that in our episode yet? We're going to have to share that story later.
Well, we have so many more stories to share with you guys, but I think we've carried on this episode long enough. So thanks for listening, and we hope that you come back next week to hear more of our crazy hunting stories.
And we hope you learn a little along the way as well, and maybe you can share some tips with us too.
Yes, we always love learning new things, whether it be about hunting or fishing, anything. We love to hear from you guys.
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.